yesterday I handed out the 8 laws. Everybody has that in front of them? Okay, this is a longer study today. Hope we can get through it. It's all basic. Some of it's basic. I mean, some of it's some research put in here as well to explain different things. Now I'm just going to read through it. If anyone wants to read any of the paragraphs, you're welcome to. And then, of course, add some comments and however you want. But we're going to just read some stuff here. So it starts with, over the past years, we are seeing a rapid decline in people's health. Diseases that were once rare are now commonplace. Sadly, this is even affecting babies. The fertility rate in many countries of the world is rapidly rising, and many babies are either not as strong at birth as in years gone by or have serious health problems. Children have multiple allergies. Many interesting observers are realizing that all these diseases do not just happen to us. These diseases are a result of our diet and lifestyle. What we eat and what we think has a great impact on our health and is passed on to our children. And I do want to add with that is, it's true. I mean, children more today have more allergies, right? And I don't know about birth defects here in North America, but in other countries, I've seen like on the news and stuff like that, you see there's a rapid growth in that area. We need to understand that not all diseases are the same. Some are disease of poverty, and some are diseases of affluence. These are non-communicable diseases. They are also known as chronic diseases and are not passed from person to person, but are slow to develop and generally have a slow progression. The 4 main types of NCDs diseases are cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks and stroke, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases such as chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases and asthma, and diabetes. When we have chronic kidney disease, osteoporosis, obesity, Alzheimer's, cataracts, plus numerous more. So those are your non-communicable diseases. Thank you. In other words, you can't get them from other people. These are lifestyle diseases. I believe these diseases of affluence or NCDs are a result of many poor diet and lifestyle choices that we make. We need to establish that these are governed by natural law. What this means is that when we break a law, there is a consequence. We see this in many examples in life. We know that if we jump off a high building, we break the law of gravity. We will suffer the consequence of either seriously getting maimed or dying. If we break a law on driving a car, when we, like the laws when driving, like speeding, we reap the result with a penalty or a fine. There are laws of life we need to keep. When we break these, we will suffer the consequences when we break these laws. And a lot of those quotes, if you remember yesterday, I'd gone over in Spirit of Prophecy, those quotes said exactly the same thing, right? So the consequences of our choices. Many people are unaware that there are laws that we need to observe to keep our health. Some people think that they can eat and drink and do whatever they want, will suffer no ill effects. Yet every single person has a choice in life, either to follow these laws or suffer the result of breaking them, whether we acknowledge these laws or not. They are there, just like the laws of gravity affects every person. They may even say, I can do what I want. I do not believe that there's a law of gravity. And I actually heard somebody say that they don't believe in gravity. I don't know if that's a common thing in the world, but somebody I know says he's challenged by gravity. That's scary. The law is there, and breaking it will affect us. I believe that these laws of health can be compared to the 10 Commandments. We may deny that they exist, or say, I'm not a Christian, so they don't affect me. But, you know, if we break the 10 Commandments, there is a consequence. Our spiritual health will be very weak and will break down. In a similar way, if we break the health laws, our physical health will break down. The 10 Commandments need not to be seen just as a list of do-nots. They can also be seen as a list of promises. Yeah. If we do not steal, we do not suffer the consequence of what happens to thieves, and likewise for each of these commandments. In a similar way, as we keep these laws of health, our health will improve. They are like promises to us. As we keep them, and the result will be we feel much better, and we will rarely be sick. Obviously, we cannot say we never get sick, but all those who follow these laws of health see such an improvement in their health, they experience the blessing of following them. I believe that these laws of health are true cures for all pain, sickness, and disease. Once you go through them and contemplate how extensive they are, you will begin to see the power that is in these simple but profound health laws or health principles. When we buy certain products, manufacturers provide us with the owner's manual. This provides valuable information that saves us on expensive repairs. Imagine buying a car and using the wrong type of fuel. Reading the manual provides us with much information, giving us evidence that saves us time, money, and gives us optimum performance from our purchase. God, as our designer and creator, has given us an owner's manual, a step-by-step practical guide that shows us to care for our wonderfully complex bodies He created. The Bible gives us practical guide in finding solutions to complex problems, and for us, we know this present truth message, and knowing what to expect today, tomorrow, and the future. With these lines, we're understanding. The Bible gives us practical guide to finding solutions to the complex problems that we encounter in this life. God cares about our welfare. He has a plan for us and has outlined a lifestyle to minimize stress, suffering, disease, despair, and disability of every kind. Some people remember these principles by using different words or acronyms. An acronym is a word where each letter stands for a word. For example, New Start, nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, rest, and trust in God. Or they use God's answer, gratitude, obedience, divine help, self-control, air, nutrition, sunshine, water, exercise, rest. And if you read, I don't have it in here, but if you read Ministry of Healing, page 127, Sister White calls it the 8 doctors, and she lists them differently, and you can go there afterwards. So the first topic, or the first one we're going to look at is nutrition, and we're going to break it down, different avenues of nutrition, and we'll go on to each other one. 8 law.
You said Ministry of Healing?
Ministry of Healing, page 127, and she calls it the 8 doctors, and she, like I said, she just lists it. It's the same, but she puts it differently. Pure air, you know, things like that. God gave mankind a specific diet. When He created Adam and Eve, it was never in God's original plan to have the life of any creature taken for food, for there was to be no death in Eden. The food given to man was food that suited for man's biological makeup. God did not create man to eat meat, as meat-eating animals are designed differently to herbivores. Our body was designed the same as herbivores. Carnivores have claws, no skin, pores that perspire through their tongue. They have sharp front teeth, tearing, and no molars for grinding. Their intestinal tract is only 3 times their body length, so any rapidly decaying meat can pass out quickly. They have strong hydraulic acid in the stomach to digest meat. Herbivores and humans have no claws, perspire through pores, have no sharp teeth, front teeth, have molars instead of, molars instead, have, period, sorry. Their intestinal tract is 12 times their body length, and their hydraulic acid is 20 times weaker than meat eaters. So we're not really designed to eat meat. It does putrefy in our bodies.
Hydrochloric acid.
Yeah, is weaker in us than in a dog, right? The inhabitants of the old world were intemperate in eating and drinking. They would have flesh meats. Although God had given them no permission to eat animal food, they ate and drank to excess, and their depraved appetite knew no bounds. They gave themselves up to abominable idolatry. They became violent and ferocious, and so corrupt that God could bear with them no longer. Their cup of iniquity was full, and God cleansed the earth of its moral pollution by a flood. As men multiplied upon the face of the earth after the flood, they forgot God and corrupted their ways before Him. Intemperance in every form increased to great extent. Israel's failure and spiritual loss. The diet appointed man in the beginning did not include animal food, not till after the flood, when every green thing on the earth had been destroyed, did man receive permission to eat flesh.
I'll read the next section if you want.
Yes, please.
On animal protein. It says, this has been confirmed by the reason of Dr. T. Colin Campbell of Dr. Campbell, now retired, is one of America's top cancer researchers. He spent many years of his career looking for the cause of cancer. His findings have been published in the book, The China Study. Is this off that movie or documentary, Forks Over Knives, or no?
No.
Oh, sorry.
They mention it, the China Study in Forks Over Knives.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
There's a book as well.
He discovered that animal protein promotes the growth of cancer, and multiple peer-reviewed animal studies, he, along with many of the other researchers, discovered that they could actually turn the growth of cancer cells on and off by raising and lowering the doses of casein, the main protein found in cow's milk. Pesticides are very harmful to us, but none switch on cancer like animal protein. The food you eat affects the way your cells interact with carcinogens, making them more or less dangerous. The result of these and many other studies show nutrition to be far more important in controlling cancer promotion than the dose of the initiating carcinogen.
Thank you. Do you want to finish? Do you want to read on?
I can read to the carbohydrates.
It can cause mental confusion. Our bodies are unable to secrete toxins and salts, and so tend to become bloated. Many people are dehydrated. Dehydration increases the risk of kidney stone, cancer, obesity, and many more diseases. We need to drink about 8 glasses of water per day. The body is about 60% water, give or take. We're constantly losing water from our bodies, primarily by urine, sweat. There are many different opinions on how much water we should be drinking every day. The health authorities commonly recommend 8 ounces of glasses, which equals to about 2 liters or half a gallon. I try to drink 3 liters. My preference for myself is 3 liters a day, but this is what the common research says, 2 liters. There are some reasons why. Okay, that doesn't sound right, sorry.
Just a typo.
There are some important reasons.
Yeah, it's just one word is.
Okay. It balances nutrients. It helps in digestion to break, soften, or transport our food. A shortage of water soon contributes to constipation, and wastes are not excreted. It improves circulation, thus improving the immune system. It heals and cleanses and relaxes, replenishes blood volume, and it controls body temperature through perspiration. It lubricates, insulates, and protects, gives flexibility to muscle, ligaments, and joints, minimizes dehydration and save kidney workload. It also reduces stress on the circulatory system and aids in building and repair the body tissue. We need to drink pure water. Avoid town tap water that has fluoride, chlorine, and other additives added. It is well worth the investment to buy a water filter. Avoid drinking with your meals. It dilutes digestive juices. Wait at least half an hour before and 1 hour and 1.5 hours after meals. Each day we avoid about a pint of water as urine, 2 in breathing, and another 2 in perspiration, and half by the way of our bowels. If we drink less than this, we become dehydrated. If we wait until we are thirsty to drink water, we are already dehydrated. So drink those 8 glasses of water throughout the day, not just 1 at a time. So it's true, if you are feeling thirsty, what does it say here?
You're already dehydrated.
Yeah, but there's another, I read somewhere else in this, that if you're not thirsty, you're already dehydrated. It's too late, you're already dehydrated. If you don't have an urge to want to drink water, it's already too late. I have more of that information on another paper over there, so we'll look at it later.
I was doing a hike in the mountains with a friend. I lost my water bottle, and it was really super hot, and we couldn't stop at all because the bugs were all over us. And we were coming down the forest, we could hear the water off in the distance. So we had a bit of an argument whether we should go through the forest or wait till we get to the bottom, and then we kind of waited till we get to the bottom, and I was super, super thirsty, like harsh thirsty.
Yeah.
And so we did get to the water, and what you don't want to do if you're really dehydrated, super dehydrated, what you don't want to do is drink water fast.
Right.
Because I did that. And what happens, it feels like someone has taken a sledgehammer
And you get a
and
gut
right in the
ache.
chest.
Yeah.
It is such a, it's like excruciating pain. So what you want to do is just take little bits of water until you start to hydrate. So.
And the cold water isn't so good either.
Well, you don't really have much of an option. When
Well,
you're in the wilderness.
in your choice, yes, but in general, your body has to heat it up before it's absorbed, so you're taking the vital energy away from your body.
Okay, let's read Sunshine. Most are aware of advertising urging us to keep out of the sunshine these days because the big thing these days is skin cancer. It is true that chronic exposure to the sun's ultraviolet rays is associated premature skin aging and cancer. However, recent studies indicate that vitamin C and E have been found to protect against skin malignancy, wrinkling, photosensitivity reactions, and immune suppression. Sunscreens can decrease the incidence of skin cancer by up to 30%. However, sunscreen contains titanium dioxide, which can accumulate in the skin and may be a carcinogen. Using too much sunscreen is associated with increased risk of osteoporosis, osteomalacia, and bone fracture. That's interesting. But I do know it adds also to skin cancer too. Sunscreen, yeah.
And another active ingredient in sunscreens is benzopyrene, but benzene in any form is a toxic agent. So just about, if you go to the grocery store or Walmart or whatever, and you look at just about every single sunscreen has this benzopyrene in it, or whatever. It's benzo something.
Right.
And people wonder why they're getting skin cancer left, right, and center. I think the ones in I used to work in a health food store, but the ones in the health food store are either zinc oxide or this titanium dioxide. Those are the safer ones, actually, than the benzene ones, because the benzene only came within the last maybe 5 to 10 years as the common ingredient in the grocery store type and Walmart type, sunscreens. It never used to be that way, but now just about every single one has it. And that benzene is toxic. It's even worse than this titanium dioxide or zinc. Zinc oxide is what they have in diaper rash ointment. It makes your skin white when you apply it. That is a lot safer, even though your skin will look white if you put it on, but
Okay.
it's still safer than the benzene.
Okay, let's continue. Once again, God has given us a simple way to help regain our health. Get enough sunshine on your skin. Most people on the modern diet and lifestyle will have a deficiency in vitamin D, which is essential for calcium, metabolism, necessary for strong bones, and many other functions. The benefit of sunshine include improving alertness and mental ability, decreasing depression and fatigue, and decreasing certain types of cancer. It increases the oxygen content of the blood, thus increasing muscle strength and endurance, decreases our resting heartbeat, and helps set and maintain our internal body clock that regulates hormones, sleep patterns, mood, and appetite. Like I said earlier when we started this paper, this is just to whet your appetite. I do have big papers on almost every topic over there. So we're going to cover this in detail, better detail. Right? Does anyone want to read the next paragraph, please? Sunlight is helpful.
Is helpful in treating many diseases, example, TB, infection, bronchial asthma. It promotes wound healing and kills many bacteria after a short exposure, and it can penetrate deep in the tissues for healing. It lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, and lowers blood sugar by acting like insulin and lets glucose into cells. It speeds the body's circulation, which enhances the elimination of toxins. Chemical and toxins are eliminated 10 to 1,000 times faster than when under artificial light. It stimulates our immune system and improves our appetite, assimilation, elimination, and digestion, as well as stimulating our pineal gland. Our pineal gland is deep within our brain. This produces a hormone, melatonin, at night, which modifies behavior and thyroid function. It also changes levels of serotonin, an important neurotransmitter in the brain, and inhibits other glands in the body. The sunlight, by acting on our retina, suppresses the sympathetic nervous system, which then calms, soothes, and rests us. Then the pineal gland is suppressed during the day to allow other glands to do their work. Dark nights and bright days help keep the hormones functioning properly. The practice of using sunglasses diminishes this function. One of the things that I've noticed, I mean, this is just for me, maybe not everybody, if I'm on the computer in the evening before bedtime, I can't fall asleep. Because all that light is going into your eyes and it's affecting your melatonin and your sleep-wake patterns. So I have to do it in the morning or day. Because in the evening, forget it, I won't fall asleep.
Okay. Yeah. So did you read all of that?
No. Do you want me to continue?
Sure.
To be healthy, we need small exposures, about 20 to 30 minutes in the sun each day. A word of precaution is recommended. Do not sunbake, or is that sunbathe? Sunbake?
Bake.
Sunbake, I never heard that word before. In the hottest part of the day, and use your common sense and do not allow yourself to get burnt. An interesting thing to note is that people who have a high plant-based diet with lots of green chlorophyll are able to stay out in the sun for much longer times without any sunscreen. It seems that chlorophyll is a natural sunscreen, So when our diet is high in these, it stops us from burning.
Now, I have an interesting point to mention about that, is if you do find yourself with a sunburn, right, there's a plant that you can find, it's called plantain. You can chew it up, put it on your skin, and it acts as a natural alleviator for the discomfort that your skin has received in that trauma.
It grows common in Canada.
Plantain.
The banana?
No, it's a leaf.
It's a plant.
Green.
I've got a picture of it in one of your notes because we're going to talk about plantain as well sometime. Temperance. I'm running out of time and I kind of want to pick up, so I'm going to skip some parts and just kind of get to some punchlines here. So on temperance, let's see, another word for temperance is self-control, or it can be defined as abstaining from that which is harmful and using wisely that which is good. Many people have made resolutions to give up bad habits. They sometimes last a few days, but most have the same result, temporary success that leads to ultimate defeat and discouragement. I've been there many times. There are many who force themselves to reform in one area of their life by sheer willpower. True self-control is not making an isolated effort in one area of your life, but it is a divinely implanted principle or character trait which permeates the whole life. It affects all areas of our lives. God will give us strength to give up our bad habits if we ask Him. But we have to choose to do so. This will be an ongoing, all through our lives. We have to make the choices to choose those things that will help build up our health and not break it down. And one of the quotes I had read yesterday, I don't remember which quote, but sanctification, right? Sanctification, we know that it's a lifetime thing, and if we exercise our will to do right, we receive that sanctification. And when I was talking about the health, the laws of health, and you can't separate that with our message, but it's the same thing as if we exercise the laws of health, it leads to sanctification. So this is exactly what this is saying in this reading right here in the same way. So say no to using alcohol and tobacco. These will ruin your health. As mentioned earlier, we need to say no to meat, dairy, and eggs. For more information on these subjects, for more information on these subjects. Oh, I should have deleted that, I'm sorry.
It continues.
Does it continue? Oh, I thought that was a Spirit of Prophecy quote. Okay, well, I'll just read it anyway. Okay. The vegetarian advantage. Remember that chocolate, ice cream, cheese, and any dairy product have animal protein as well as often have sugar. These combinations of milk, sugar, as well as eggs are very harmful for our arteries. And chocolate and other chemicals in it, as well as caffeine. Tea, coffee, or any caffeine drink plus soft drinks will break down your health. White refined sugar is not a food, but actually a poison to our bodies. And this is taken from Ministry of Healing 3:26. The effects of all caffeine. The action of coffee and many other popular drinks is similar. The first effect is exhilarating. The nerves of the stomach are excited. These convey irritation to the brain, and this in turn is aroused to impart increased action to the heart and short-lived energy to the entire system. Fatigue is forgotten, the strength seems to be increased, the intellect aroused, and imagination becomes more vivid. And that's the effect of caffeine. And in the paragraph above that, it talks about the things that have caffeine in it. When we have food additives, these are used to disguise the taste of food you otherwise won't eat. Additives are added to processed foods to enhance the taste, appearance, or to increase shelf life. Not every additive is harmful, but many in use today are known to be dangerous and even carcinogenic. Some additives in use in Australia have been banned overseas. Well, that's interesting. There has been a vast increase in the amount of food additives since the 1970s. This correlates to the vast increase in a number of chronic conditions since the 1970s. A list of symptoms of these when added to food is so long. Just to name a few, they have a detrimental effect on behavior, nerves, decreases fertility, stimulates obesity, as well as carcinogenic. Make sure you avoid. I mean, I guess you can figure that out yourself when you go and find a prefab food on the thing on the shelf in the store, and it's got a list seriously that long, and you can't even pronounce half of the stuff in it, right?
Cheese whiz.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
On the test cut out about 50 different patterns.
Oh, yeah, but Loma Linda brand foods also has a list of stuff in it too. Like, you got to be careful.
Oh, yeah.
And Morning Star and Worthington's, like all that Adventist junk food, right?
Yeah.
All artificial flavors. Oh, this is part of the same sentence. Make sure you avoid all artificial flavors, and many natural flavors are harmful too. So when they also say natural flavor, you really don't know what that is. And it could be a meat product, an animal byproduct in it, giving and you don't know, it could be a pork thing too.
And it could be MSG.
Yeah, but I think pork is bad.
Yeah.
I'm talking about MSG, I think, in here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, but watch for altered fats, as mentioned earlier, stimulating foods, vinegar, and all refined foods. Make sure you avoid all GMOs. They can be hidden in many foods, especially in the ingredients that are imported from the USA. Currently, Canada has GMO crops of canola and cotton, canola and lots of pre-made foods. But temperance does not only include food, it also means we should be temperate in the amount of what we eat, but covers exercise, recreation, sport, sleep, even work. So we need to be temperate in all things, not just in our diet. There are other types of addictions that we need to be mindful to avoid. These include gossiping, complaining, and grumbling.
So about vinegar.
Yes, vinegar is an acid.
Okay.
Yeah, and Sister White does actually talk that we should avoid eating things with vinegar and it shouldn't enter the stomach.
Isn't vinegar also like a perverted wine?
Maybe, but I know she says it's an acid and it shouldn't enter the stomach.
Because it creates indigestion.
It destroys, yeah. Yes, and it actually causes cancer, stomach cancer. In Korea, I believe they eat a lot of fermented fish and things like that. Maybe that's not vinegar, but it does cause stomach cancers and stuff because of the acid that it is. It destroys.
They eat the fermented cabbage a lot.
Pardon me?
The fermented cabbage.
Right, right. Okay, so...
This paragraph that you just read,
yeah?
about temperance and stuff like grumbling, is it taken from the book Temperance?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Air. I believe that this law of health is overlooked. Well, hang on a sec. What do you mean, the book of Temperance?
Because Sister White has a book called Temperance.
Temperance? Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm asking, because I read it from this.
Did you? Okay, maybe. I don't, okay.
Sports.
Yeah, let's go on to air. I believe that this law of health is overlooked and undervalued in regard to regaining health. Very few people know how deep to breathe, how to deep breathe. Oxygen is essential to tissue health. In the absence of oxygen, cell death begins to take place. Cells deprived of oxygen are most susceptible to malignant change, which leads to cancer. To think clearly, our brains need lots of fresh air. There are other factors which can tend to deprive the brain of adequate stores of oxygen, such as alcohol, caffeine, tobacco, sugar, and a high-fat diet. These also thicken our blood as well. Poor posture and lack of exercise can also contribute to problems. Chronic brain oxygen deprivation increases the risk of memory, difficult mental decline, and even dementia. When we sleep, respiration increases. For this reason, it's important to keep windows open at night so that we can breathe fresh, vitalizing air. And I didn't know we can open the windows in our bedroom, and I just saw yesterday it does have a handle, so I asked my roommate if we can open the window tonight because it's stifling in there.
With a crack.
A crack. Yes, my sister, a crack. We'll compromise because I really want fresh air. Anyways, okie doke. When we sleep, respiration increases. For this reason, it is important to keep windows open at night so we can breathe fresh air, vitalize air. Did I read that? Yeah. Every organ of the body requires fresh air for optimum functioning. Our blood transports oxygen to the body tissue, provided that we have enough water to keep the blood flowing freely. Air pollutants, smog, cigarette smoke, are a threat to health. Stove heat affects air quality. We need to get out and breathe fresh, clean air every day. Your body is designed to detoxify and release 70% of its toxins through breathing. If you are not breathing effectively, you are not properly ridding your body of its toxins, the other systems in your body then need to work overtime, which could eventually lead to illness. When you exhale air from your body, you release carbon dioxide that has been passed from your bloodstream into your lungs. Carbon dioxide is a natural waste of your body's metabolism.
What is stove heat affects air quality?
Because it requires oxygen to burn, and especially if it's a gas heater, oil heater, that type of thing.
Even a wood stove, because
yeah.
you're still burning, it still needs the oxygen, because we have a wood stove.
You got to keep the window open when you have a wood stove.
A few open windows a little bit, even in the winter, even just for the time you're burning, and then close them at night.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go to rest because I think I'm running out of time. Hey, I got several pages left and I got 15 minutes, right? Rest. Many people complain about being sleepy during the day while others have problems falling asleep during the night. Some find it difficult to get to bed on time. Many burn the midnight oil. Research has found that modest levels of sleep deprivation results in 30% drop in immune function. Then you become more susceptible to getting colds or the flu or something. Studies have shown that going to bed early does actually give health benefits. It's in sleep, primarily in the hours before midnight, that information learning during the day is transformed from the hippocampus area of the brain, short-term memory bank. The permanent storage area in the neocortex. This deep sleep time occurs before midnight, 3 hours. Right? There are essentials to establishing good sleep habits. The average person needs 8 to 9 hours of sleep daily for proper immune function, tissue repair for nervous system, and hormone balances. This means have a set of bedtime and rising time, as well as for eating, exercise, and study and work. Your body loves regularity. Go to bed early. Remember, sleeping the hours before midnight are twice as beneficial as your hours after midnight. Staying up late unbalances your body clock. If you have problems sleeping, make sure you don't eat late, don't eat sugary foods, get enough exercise, avoid smoking and drinking caffeine drinks. I want to just add again, I had started this exercise regime, and it's promoting me to sleep at night. For some reason, I wake up at 2:30. This has been going on for a long time, and I couldn't figure out why. Like, I'm doing everything else. How come I get up at 2:30 every night? And this has been going on for a few years, actually. And then I'm up until 5. I can't sleep, so I pray or study or something. And then I fall asleep at 5, and then I wake up at 9, and it just spoils up my whole day because it ruins my morning. So anyways, with this exercise program that I'm doing, high intensity 30-second interval, and I'm going to talk about that with exercise. It really is a benefit to my system, and your system too if you want to try it. We were created to have a weekly cycle. It is a built-in feature in our physiology. God commands us to remember to keep His Sabbath day holy. His Sabbath day is the 7th day of the week, Saturday. God blessed the Sabbath day, so when we keep this day holy, not doing any work, God promises us that He will revive our bodies and minds and give us true peace. And I'm going to skip down to trust in God. Or do I have time? Oh, I got 10 minutes.
Just a quick comment
I can go on. Go ahead.
The sleep, there's a Bible principle that says
Yeah.
the sleep of a laboring man is sweet, so exercise is part of laboring, so when we have proper exercise, we sleep a whole lot better.
And especially if you work outside, you earned your sleep at night.
Fresh air.
And in the country, especially, you're doing your gardening at night, out in the daytime, you've really earned your sleep.
If you're sitting at a computer all day long, or if you're sitting driving a taxi or a truck all day long, where's your exercise?
Exactly. You need to make some time, at some point in your day, to get some exercise.
Yeah.
I know my husband was an office worker, and he, on his noon hour lunch break, he'd go for a walk, you know, after he ate.
Yeah.
Just to get a bit of exercise, because you're sitting in a desk.
Exactly.
They say also that if you're in an office and to avoid depression, if you have some room on the wall, you can have pictures of the natural world
Greenery and
instead of if you're in like downtown New York or one of these big cities, it's just a cement jungle. Now you can kind of, I don't know if the word would be, just project yourself somewhere else, right? So
And the color green is very relaxing. Studies have been shown on different colors and how they affect the mood and everything. The green is very relaxing. During the French Revolution, France passed a law to change the weekly cycle from 7 days to 10 days. The country publicly rejected God. They passed another law that prohibited the Bible. The law of God was trampled underfoot, and the weekly rest day was set aside, and in its stead, every 10th day was devoted to partying and blasphemy. Many people lost their lives in the reign of terror that followed. 3.5 years later, the law was rescinded because the country was in chaos. Animals were, animals were dropping dead, anarchy was rife, and bloodshed was everywhere. France had become an object lesson for all to see what happens when the nation that publicly rejects God.
That's a pretty good testimony.
And it's coming again. History repeats itself. And we're coming into that time period very soon. Another type of rest we need is true relaxation. Many think they obtain this in front of a TV. This does not really relax us. Spend time in nature, gardening, walking, sharing time with loved ones, learning, leaving your worries and your cares behind. Pretty simple. Trust in God. Health depends on having a good attitude. Worry, anxiety, anger, hostility, grief, negativism, fear, and mental stress all depress the immune system. Those who direct their anxiety and tension inwards are more susceptible to an early death because everything revolves around their lives and their health. Start helping others. This will improve your health dramatically. Forgive all those that have hurt you. I want to go back to the sentence, start helping others. That's actually a true remedy for depression. If your mind is constantly only on yourself and your woes and all of that, you just get deeper and deeper into your pit. But when you actually go and do some volunteer work, it's been proven, they've done studies on that, and it's true, and I've experienced it. When you go and help somebody, it just, your mind is not on yourself, it's on that other person. Okay.
Yeah. And also in the Bible, after Job had gone through all that he had gone through, and like the Bible says that when he started praying for his friend. So
Yeah.
then God blessed him.
Blessed him.
Yeah, exactly. He got all of his, everything back sevenfold, right? So trust in God. Okay. Anger affects more than the person who is the target of the emotions. It suppresses the immune system. It is implicated in sudden stroke. It doubles the risk of heart attacks after any outburst, the danger lasting for about 2 hours. So that's your effect of anger. So hostility increases the risk of atherosclerosis and early death. Stress, depression, and guilt also depress immune system, and you will be prone to heart disease. Have memory impairment leading to dementia and early death. That's what stress does. And stress is a causer also for cancer. Ulcerated pressure or ulcerated ulcers in the gut, right? Stress is a major thing that
Also raises blood cholesterol.
yeah, diseases. It's definitely something you don't need in your system to get sick with. Pessimism, an unpleasant byproduct of brooding over real or imaginary troubles, has an even worse effect on killer T cells or immune system than depression. Having a cheery attitude is vital to good health. Yet we need not wait for a good mood to hit us. Recent psychological research suggests that deciding to have a cheerful countenance can also create a merry heart and generates amazing changes in the brain itself. Deliberate decisions to smile actually generates the same positive brain activity in the frontal cortex as a spontaneous happy smile. We can cheer up ourselves. We can cheer up ourselves up as well as others around us simply by putting on a happy face. And fake it till you make it too, right? Even if you're not feeling happy, just put that smile there anyways.
Don't worry, be happy.
True.
A merry heart does good like a medicine.
Exactly. A promise was given to the children of Israel: if you will diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in His sight, give ear to His commandments, and keep all of His statutes. I will put none of these diseases upon you, which I have brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you. What are some of these diseases of ancient Egyptians? They have been revealed in autopsies on these ancient Egyptian mummies. They revealed leprosy, boil, liver cirrhosis, cancer, pneumonia, osteoporosis, dental caries, tuberculosis, emphysema, malaria, hydrocephalus, gout, constipation, arthritis, gallstones, heart disease, diabetes, poliomyelitis, gonorrhea, obesity, smallpox, and hookworms. All these are a result of unhealthy and refined diet. And these are all the diseases we get today too.
So nothing's changed.
I can help you.
You want to read?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Obedience is for our own good. Many do not realize the strong impact of physical habits have on our moral and spiritual nature. It is only by remaining obedient to God's natural laws that we will keep our bodies healthy.
Amen.
Does it restrict our lifestyle to adhere to these laws of health? No, it gives us the freedom to enjoy life without worrying about becoming sick and diseased.
Amen.
We are spared needless pain and disability. Many people are living lives of despair and emptiness. There seems to be this emptiness that material things just do not fail. Others are all stressed out trying to keep pace with modern living. Many are lonely, some sinking into depression that affects not only their lives, but the lives of friends and family. Clearly, there is a void in the lives of millions, and an urgent need for this void to be relieved. Can anything or anyone fill this void? Man tries to fill his life with all manner of inventions, but still comes up empty. There's a void in each one of us that only God can fill. When we surrender our lives to Him, we can have peace, contentment, and even joy in an unstable, inconsistent world. Learning to trust in God completely in all situations brings a peace of mind that will keep us calm, promote health, and prolong life. A contented mind, a cheerful spirit is health to the body and strength to the soul. Trust in God. Faith and prayer provide a significant boost to mental as well as physical health. Learning to trust in God for all your needs and giving your entire life to Him gives a peace of mind that is unsurpassed. Jesus says, "Come unto me, ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek, and ye shall find rest, contentment for your souls. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. There is no heavier burden than the burden of sin and selfishness." Jesus says, "Come, give me your burden of sin. I will give you my righteousness, my peace in return." God's own book tells of the wisdom, instruction, and power that is given to all who take the first step and come to Jesus. As we learn more of Him, we see that learning of Him is the highway to health. This is the answer to all the problems that perplex and annoy, the answer to the great void in the human heart.
Is there a reference to that?
No. That's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Holly?
Hmm?
Is there a reference to that, or is that what you wrote?
No, there's no reference to that. I'm sorry. So, do you have any more comments, anyone? It's 11 o'clock, or 12 o'clock, sorry. Then we're finished. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we're so thankful that you've made this class very simple and straightforward in the information provided. Each one of us here desires to put our best forward and to obey the natural laws that you have for us. We want to do the best we can to put aside impurities and become pure and ready to receive you in our lives day by day. Bless our efforts that we make, that we become successful and desiring to be what you want us to be in your character and perfect in holiness. A perfect sacrifice that will be lifted up as wise priests at midnight. Father, I pray that we will be faithful and successful. These things we pray for in the name of Jesus. Amen.